So last night was the fourth Democratic presidential debate, 12 people on that overcrowded stage. And what we learned from that debate is that there's a couple winners up there and there's quite a few people that really need to drop out as soon as possible. To me, before I get into this, the most interesting thing I've found during these debates is that it hasn't increased my support for any particular candidate, but it really has made me dislike even more members of the Democratic Party than I disliked before. And that was my biggest takeaway last night. So let's start with the losers. Biggest loser of the evening, Tulsi Gabbard. Absolutely looked foolish up there on that stage for every single question that she was asked. Even when they went into her wheelhouse, she couldn't do it. So I think Tulsi is pretty much finished after this debate. That was a horrid performance, and a lot of people are walking away from that with a sour taste in their mouth. A couple other folks that really rubbed me the wrong way. Amy Klobuchar. What a horrible person. I mean, just in general as a human being, Amy Klobuchar is just awful. But substantively, regardless of my personal feelings for anybody, Amy Klobuchar was up there arguing with Elizabeth Warren about why we can't or shouldn't make progress here in the United States. That's odd. That's not ever something you want to hear from somebody running for president. You don't want to hear, scale it back, folks. We're not going to do good things. And yet that's all Amy Klobuchar had. She had a very combative attitude towards Elizabeth Warren, and I think it's because Klobuchar right now is fighting for her life, and she thought she could win it back last night. She couldn't. Other two biggest losers for me of the evening, number one, Andrew Yang. Wow, I'm getting tired of hearing Andrew Yang talk about UBI. UBI, folks, UBI. I don't know if you know this, but UBI. Oh my God, come up with another plan. And I know the Yang gang is he's got over 100 plans on his website, because you literally say that exact phrase every time somebody says that, almost like it's a pre-made response. I don't trust him. I don't like him. His plan is awful. His value-added tax would increase costs for consumers through the frickin' roof. And yet he's sitting there saying we shouldn't have a progressive income tax. We should just have a value-added tax. That's a tax on American consumers, folks. Andrew Yang is not serious. Andrew Yang doesn't have an actual plan to solve the problem of automation, which according to economists isn't even a problem, not now nor in the near future. So why waste our time? Andrew Yang is not a horrible person. He's not a horrible candidate. He's got some ideas that he has not fully flushed out, and they're not ready for prime time. That's the thing with Andrew Yang. Also, I would feel better maybe if he were a member of an administration. Get a little bit of experience in there. Try to put these policies in place that way, which is actually a lot easier. And then we'll see if they can work. But I don't think Andrew Yang is ready in any capacity to be president of the United States. Now the person who pissed me off the most from that debate. Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Running to the center faster than anyone I have ever seen. In fact, he's running so fast towards the center that he's already on the right. This man, much like Klobuchar and even Gabbard, sitting there telling us during that debate that we can't do these things, that we need to scale back our promises, that we need to aim lower, and that we just all need to, be a little bit nicer, not go for these things that would actually help Americans, the things that other countries have already implemented, like Medicare for all, or universal health care. We somehow just can't do it, Pete says. We can't. We're not smart enough here in the United States, I guess. I don't like that. I don't like hearing that. I don't like centrists, and I'm sick and tired of Mayor Pete downplaying the progressives on that stage. It's disgusting. It's unnecessary. And he's attacking others not to tear them down or expose their flaws, but to elevate himself. That is low. That is dirty. I do not like Mayor Pete, and I wish he would drop out today. Another person who did not perform exceptionally well at the debate, aside from most of the other folks on the stage, I was very disappointed in Elizabeth Warren's performance. Now, I've read this morning and last night a bunch of different pieces. Everybody's got their particular winners and their losers, and every list is different. A lot of people had Warren kind of towards the top of people who did well. I didn't see that. I didn't. I saw her be very evasive. I saw her seem exceptionally nervous for some reason. That really threw me off. I mean, at one point, her hand was shaking. She had it up here near her face when she was talking. You can see it visibly shaking. That was weird to me. She seemed nervous. And this is an experienced woman. This is a very confident woman. So I don't know what that was about, but it gave me the wrong impression. She, again, was evasive with her answers, couldn't go straight forward on the issue of taxes and universal health care. Bernie had to jump in and answer that question, and that brings us to the winner. It was obvious, folks. Bernie Sanders killed that debate. Not only that, but he also got some pretty amazing endorsements from 3/4 of the squad. Ilhan Omar, AOC, and Rashida Tlaib are all endorsing Bernie Sanders. That is huge. And another winner of the debate, believe it or not, folks, was Joe Biden. And one of the reasons Joe Biden won, the only reason Joe Biden could be considered a winner, is because he didn't get to talk very much. And that's why this entire format is infuriating. People need to see who Joe Biden is. They need to remember that this is the human gaffe machine. And by not letting him speak, which I feel was intentional, he didn't make as many mistakes. Now, he made mistakes when he talked, but because they let those other, 1%ers fight amongst themselves so much, Joe Biden just had to sit there and not be stupid. That's not fair. We need to see Joe Biden being Joe Biden. But because they didn't talk to him all that much, he also emerged as a winner. Next debate, I say no more than 5. Let's go ahead, let's whittle this down, let's get it down to 5. No more than that on the stage. And it needs to be just the front runners too. Let's not have this random drawing, some good people this night, the others on this night. Nope. Let's have a debate with Bernie, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what we're down to. Maybe that's the top tier and that's all we need to see. But we can't do another double-digit debate. It's not letting people have enough time. It's not letting them get into the issues like they need to. And it's really not helping anyone make the case as to why they should be the next president of the United States. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.